it's like Jesus is my savior and like I'm solid with him. It was a lot. But yeah, he did. I mean, and he's clearly someone who has had a lot of trauma with religion in his life and is still working through that. And I think that's sort of how he's been able to um, be able to live as himself, which is unfortunate for him. But
Yeah, I
I think
think
it
that
is an
is.
important conversation. And I think
Well,
more
I feel
important
so
the
bad about the
conversation that
trauma that he experienced in his life because let me. Oh wait. Oh, I'm gonna bring this guy back. This is the other one with the striped shirt from the live. I'm bringing him in right now. I'm
works.
trying to anyway. Wait, I'm trying to bring the striped shirt in. His name was Michael
Yes.
something.
You're right.
Oh, was he here?
Bob.
Oh, there he is.
How you
Michael.
doing?
Michael, that was a wild ride. That was a wild ride.
You know, one thing that I can honestly say, it's just an honor for you to have me join. But I'm going to tell you one thing that you were saying is that, again, being subjective, you know, I think that people were trying to subject Christian, you being a Christian or you believing in religion or whatnot, being happy is the only thing that's very important. God supposedly supposed to be loved, but people put so many contingencies upon it, which is not why I'm in the church today. Myself, I still do believe in God, however, but I'm gonna tell you, I am one happy homosexual, and I'm very successful. You know, I'm probably have better salaries than most pastors out there who are
Drag them. Jacob, everyone said you got to get a striped shirt, Jacob. Everyone's saying to go. By the way, this is my partner, Jacob, on the live. Jacob, you got to get a striped shirt.
Hey, Jacob.
I don't know if I own a striped shirt.
Oh, well, I have plenty of them for you.
So wait, so Michael? Do you know Andrew outside of live?
Absolutely. I've known Andrew for quite a while. Him and I worked together. We was working together. I do a lot for the homeless. I met him over a decade ago when he was actually indulging in the lifestyle.
Got it.
He was just starting to make his way out. You know, when you're being delivered from anything, no matter if it's drugs, eating donuts, anything that you're trying to stop a habit of, it's hard. It's a struggle. It's going to be a struggle.
But Michael, the thing is, whenever you talk to Christians,
Yeah.
they always align your queerness with drugs. It's where they go. They're like, whether you are addicted to men or crack. Well, I'm not doing crack. I don't do crack. I don't do crack.
But you know, most gays use drugs for an outlet.
Yeah, so do straight people. My father's a crackhead and he's not gay.
Well,
Straight people.
My father just passed in September and he definitely was on crack as well. And
yeah. Gay people use crack because gay people are a microcosm of the real world. So if there is drug problems outside of the queer universe, there's going to be drug problems within the queer universe. And
they got to respect you, though, Bob. They have to respect you, what your decisions are, just like they want you to respect. Religion has too many contingencies upon it. You got to do this. You got to do that. Hell, honestly, I thought the damn Cajun pastor was gay. He fits the profile. He fits the profile. I was confused. But if we was
Dr. Cashmere, Pastor Cashmere and Andrew are queer coded. I'm not going to call them queer because I cannot define them, but they are queer coded, is what I will say. Jacob said, "Why am I here?"
Let's see if we can add. You know what, Bob? See if you can add Zina. Zinaa. She is a huge.
Jacob, you can leave you on. Just say, I was
because we really known Andrew for a while, and we can definitely.
I love you, Jacob. Bye, baby.
Call me.
Is it Zina Bina?
Zina Bina. Yep.
All right, we're bringing in Zina Bina.
We have a huge conversation right now, Bob. This is going to probably be one of the best damn conversations you've ever had.
Wait, let me get a light on in here.
Yeah.
Zina, turn the lights on, Zina Bina.
I'm turning them on.
Hey, Bob, I'm gonna tell you, I'm one of your biggest damn fans. It is such an honor, man.
Oh, well, thank you. But you know what I was saying? There was something about Zina. You might as well turn the light off. All I can see is the back of your
Can't see me.
Zena, if you don't face that light, face the light, Zena.
Hold on. What about now?
This is good enough, Zena. So what happened was I noticed that my presence, just me being in that space, set Andrew on fire. Something about just literally me. Did you see it, Zena? Did you see the
I
live?
did. I watched the entire live.
But I'm gonna
And
tell
I
you,
And
wasn't
Bob.
antagonizing him. I wasn't antagonizing. I was just
not
existing,
for a
and it was.
moment.
Bob, we
Not for a
intimidate him.
moment. I think it was very illuminating the fact that you shared your testimony in a very respectful way. You
Right.
tried to engage in an honest discourse with him. And time again, the theme was I respect you. But then I keep deflecting or talking in circles and reverting back to the fact that I feel like your lifestyle is a sin. You have chosen to walk this ungodly path. And I think
Mhm.
what you said that struck me as very interesting is the fact that you prayed for happiness and you found happiness. Happiness is not inherent in Christianity. There are
Right.
other religions that predate Christianity by leaps and bounds where people are happy and they're living their lives and they're fulfilled and they're
Right.
walking in their truth and they're free of judgment. And I think you were just trying to exemplify that and speak on that. And yet it continuously came back to, well, I don't agree with this and I can't do XYZ. And it's like, if we live our lives worried about the perceptions of others, we're never
Listen,
going to get
we'll never
anywhere.
live.
We're
But
never going to
I'm
live.
gonna tell you, Zena, and
Also, Zena, get a striped shirt. Zena, where your striped shirt at?
I'm gonna tell you something though. Andrew is very strategic on who he let join his live. I'm sorry he allowed me on that platform again, Bob, because I know I intimidate him as a homosexual, attractive man. I think you are also intimidating because I feel like his struggle when us, and I'm saying us as in you and I, Bob, homosexuals, gay, or whatever we want to call ourselves, we intimidate the hell out of him because he don't know which way to go when a gay man is on his live. He does this recurring characteristic over and over again. He called me a troll. I've been way before Edge even became viral. I was a friend of his when he was indulging in that lifestyle when him and I were working together.
And then Prince, he kept talking about, well, I have to protect my brand. And this is about my brand. You can build a better brand and forge better bonds by actually acknowledging that you've been delivered from whatever path you've been on, but that you still have a place for acceptance in your heart. You can still.
Wait, is your name Michael? I want to be Zena and Mike. Is it Michael or Prince? I heard Prince.
Well, Prince is my name, but you can call me Michael.
You can still acknowledge.
Michael said, when it comes to a snack, I'm going to have it. Mike started snacking in the middle of the...
I was trying not to eat the damn airhead on live.
Michael was like, let me tell my testimony. This is my testimony home.
Emotional and spiritual maturity is about acknowledging that while you walk different paths from other people, you can still respect what someone is going through and not necessarily have to throw dirt on it and sling mud on it and whatever else. My best friend is gay. He goes to drag shows. He sends me little risque things all the time. And I wouldn't do that, but I support the hell out of him for it. If he wants me to go to a drag show, so be it. I know what my truth is. I know who I'm sleeping with at night. I know who signs my paychecks. Why does it matter so much? Why are we so hell bent on that?
It was really odd. It was the point when he decided to start like really out of nowhere, like attacking Buddhism and Christianity, and Islam. And I was like, I don't know why you feel the need to just randomly attack Islam and Buddhism and Judaism and probably other religions as well. They're not even in the conversation.
But
I'm not here
to and Sis Cashmere was adding on to it, and I'm like, how are you being able to be a vessel or being able to be a leader with that mentality that you are indulging, Andrew, saying that people are not real because you're insulting someone else's religious beliefs? Who
so
are you?
close-minded. And then Bob asked questions about respectability politics. Bob started to dissect the inconsistencies in the Bible and the fact that God is supposedly this all-knowing, all-loving being who is intentionally inflicting suffering upon people, which is a philosophical question that we face all the time. Why are people starving? Why are people allowed to go through these atrocious things in life if God is there to love and protect and support? I don't understand. You know, I just
But
I
they
don't
always say stuff like it's part of the plan. It's we get our rewards later in life, and I'm like, I don't know why. I mean, if listen, if the God of the Bible is real, and I'm not religious, and I'm not here to shit on anyone's religion, but if the God of the Bible is real, he is homophobic, he is racist, he is xenophobic, he's transphobic because he allows black people, trans people, queer people to suffer at an exorbitant rate more than our white, straight, rich counterparts.
Right.
If the God of the Bible is real, he's a capitalist. he is like and that is because
that's
and I
all
have to
that
get to one.
God is love. Because I'm gonna tell you something. If my God wasn't pleased, there is no way I would be as blessed as I am. People put so much crap on homosexuality, I'd be wanting to knock their asses
and
out.
you are
It's insane.
you are
But
black.
also, like,
Honestly,
Andrew, baby, you're struggling. Like, I'm not struggling. Andrew is struggling. The thing is, I follow Andrew for a long time. Andrew is like constantly online, like begging women to be with him. He is like constantly, he's always in trouble. He's always like getting sued by someone, suing someone, fighting someone, and arguing with someone, being accosted by people in the streets. I feel bad because he probably doesn't have a moment of relief. He probably doesn't have a place to go where he's not being constantly harassed, but and I'm not saying it's his fault. I'm saying that he's a product of his surroundings. He's a product of his environment, and that's why I think he really got mad when I said, "Baby, if one of us is struggling, it is not me. I'm not the one struggling here."
No,
but I'm gonna
no,
tell you though, he has. To, oh, go ahead, Z. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
that's beyond the financial component. You are emotionally at peace, physically, spiritually, whatever you want to say. You have prayed and gotten yourself to that point. And so I just don't understand why we still keep reverting back to the fact that there is some inherent, you know, unsolvable flaw in people that are homosexual.
I don't
You've
get it,
already
Zena.
determined that
I
this was
definitely do
beyond
not.
choices at
I
this
don't
point.
understand it. I think we are intimidators. I really wish everyone who's gay on this live right now. This is an opportunity that we always have had within this community.
Oh God.
I'm like, Bob, listen, we ain't gonna perform right now. Don't be
No.
like you about to,
I'm a hot
but
mess.
I think that we intimidate a lot of people, and it was shown on this evening. You know, Bob was very respectable. He was very calm, and he also was very bored. You know, because you can tell he's been around the block a while. You know, when a person tells you they've been in the church, you know, most black people have been in the church. So everything
Yeah, a lot of us. Yeah.
fed into his brain, he already has lived this. So my thing is just respect the fact that he was transparent with you. And we could have moved on and had a better conversation, but putting on a tire and then cashmere and eyeliner and all that other kind of stuff, you know, it just made us just question the logic. But I
I'm
think
I'm
I've
really
something I've
gonna have to
noticed
go
with
back and
Andrew.
dissect some of that
Wait, go
for
ahead,
sure.
Zena.
I said
Say,
I'm
Zena.
really gonna have to go back and dissect some of that and maybe like write a think piece because I just think that you brought up so many interesting themes. Like
absolutely.
when you talked about, I remember someone mentioning in the comments that, you know, when you look at the history of slavery in America, the slave masters actually used Christianity to subjugate the slaves and further keep them in that second class citizenship status. And in a way, that is part of the reason why, you know, the Black community has been so denigrated. We are one of the most heavily religious groups of people in the
Yeah.
US, and we don't have a lot to show for it. So we're tithing, and we're supporting these mega church pastors and these scammers and these prophets who are not truly leading a life that is consistent with the word. And
And
yet,
also, why is
no
it
one
that
is
whenever
dissecting that. No one is
and
Right.
looking
whenever black
at
folks have to come out of it, it has to be so much sacrifice. He's like, I had to fast. You have to give up food. You have to give up food in order to have
And
happiness.
lifestyle as well.
Like, what amount of sacrifice do
Lifestyle.
you have to have?
That's
Yep.
unhappiness for me. If I'm sacrificing, if I have to sacrifice my happiness, I'm not going to do that. At the end of the day, I was taught that God's supposed to be happiness and love. God is not love making me struggle and say, you know what, just because it's something I want to mentally achieve, that I have to stop living my life happy in order to achieve those things. Now, I do believe in long suffering. I think we all long suffer throughout our lives, and I don't think that's a religious thing. But however, I feel like whenever my happiness is sacrificed, it's not for me. And you know, people are quick to say, well, you going to hell. Okay, I'm a homosexual, highly favored man. I've never had any issues being a gay man in America.
And I'm
Now,
sorry, Prince, they're gonna be shocked as hell when when they are on that hospice bed and they transition and they find out that there's no heaven and there's no hell behind that. I
right.
mean,
Shook, shocked, and shattered.
what is this all for? You should really be living for your own personal fulfillment and to look after the ones who are closest to you and just to do good work. Be kind.
You know what else I think? I was thinking this too. You know, I'm very happy to be alive. I love being alive. I'm so grateful that I'm alive. But like the idea of existing forever, just it seems exhausting. The idea of never ever not existing seems horrible. Also, like the God of the Bible just does not, like, it's not an equal and opposite response. It's like if you take the Lord's name in vain, now you are burning in hell,
Right.
forever.
Forever.
Ever.
Ever.
Wait. Because I did that one time, now I'm burning in hell forever. That the God of the Bible is a drama queen.
Amen.
But you know what? It's the people that are making the drama. I think it's the people. People wrote the Bible. I think it's politics. That's all it is in a nutshell. It's politics. Us against them kind of thing. Either you love God or you're going to hell. Us against them.
There are too many absolutes. And if we know anything about this world, is we know that this world is very gray and there's a lot that is open to interpretation, even the Bible itself. Because the scripture that Andrew was quoting and then the scripture that Pastor Cashmere or whomever,
they couldn't even align.
No. There were
of course, they're not going to align. Also, Andrew does this thing. I've been following him for a while online. Andrew does this thing, and I cannot confirm. This is just my suspicion. Allegedly, this is my suspicion and my suspicion alone. Andrew lies. He just says things that are just blatantly not true. I mean, insanely not true. Things like, I have close friends at Facebook, and they will come to your house and arrest all of you. That's not true. That's not true. I mean, listen, I have connections at Facebook, legitimate connections at Facebook, and I can't get any of your accounts banned, no more than anyone else can by like reporting your accounts. Right. You know, Andrew says things online about how he
processes.
He talks about all of it. I don't know I do not know what Andrew does for a living, but Andrew is constantly online talking about how rich he is and how
sometimes the elevator just don't go to the top floor in
certain
instances.
That's a sin, right? Even those things, being boastful, being prideful, you know, being respectful of others, all of those things, however minor they may seem to him, are still sins. So we can't ask someone because they engage in drag or they participate.
And when does female impersonation become a sin? I'm confused. People be in different characters every damn day. They walk in a day of life with 14 personalities. So I guess they sinning every day.
Well, all the church folks go see Tyler Perry dressed up as Medea.
Right.
The church folks go see Tyler Perry dressed up as Medea.
Let's be clear. He's very wealthy. He's
But if
very wealthy.
But if we really wanted to get philosophical, gender is not real.
It's
Gender was
not.
created.
Yes.
Race was created. These are all social constructs that were put in place to institute a hierarchy in our society. Race
Yes.
for the purpose of propagating white supremacy. And can we talk about the fact that when you look at, in college, I took a class on the history of sexuality. And at one point, way back when, ancient Greece, Rome, all of that, men used to sleep with men as a sign of financial dominance and power. It was not based on the traditional conception of how you look at homosexuality and people being physically attracted or romantically or emotionally involved. It was a sign of financial domination and to, propagate themselves on a different level. So when we start looking at how these things have evolved today, what you're condemning today would have been completely different 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
They've been talking
Also,
about
to the folks in the comment, some
right.
of the
Somebody
comments
just
like,
said something in the comments. Someone said, because I kind of
I can't
stuck
the
it here.
They're
Someone
not
says he's in drag every day. He's impersonating Needy Leaks, the Housewives of Atlanta. So what is the difference in Bob, who's actually getting paid and who's really making a living out of this and does a really good job, than a person who just being a very amateur person and living their lives like they look up to housewives and tend to follow their lives that way.
It's truth.
Yeah,
And
that's
so
a good comment, you guys. That was a
some
great
of the
comment.
comments are talking about something that Zena just said, which I want to say I agree with what Zena just said, that race is, so when we say race is not real, race is a is a social construct. This is what we mean. And I found this out when I started traveling. Race is completely a social construct. There are people who are considered white in one place and they go to a different place where the social construct changes and they're not white anymore. For example, lighter skinned but not white, like brown skinned Brazilians are considered white in Brazil. They come to America and they're not white anymore.
Amen.
They are
Amen.
now brown people. They have indigenous and Spanish or Portuguese mix. You also have, for example, like Aboriginal people in Australia. If an Aboriginal person from Australia moved to America, they probably would not be considered black, because in America, black refers to people who are typically African American. They would be considered dark skinned. They consider brown, but in Australia, Aboriginal people are considered black. Just like Asia, there are some Asian people who are considered white in Asia. They come to America, they're not Asian. They're not white anymore. So race is a social construct, and it is based on where you are and how the people around you perceive you.
And so is gender. Gender is
Yeah.
a performance. It is an act. It is saying that girls should wear pink and boys should wear blue. Although historically boys started out wearing pink. All of these things have been created in essence to maintain a hierarchy. So how can we effectively attack what has been created? And I just, the whole choice versus being born, I never woke up one day and just, oh, I'm just going to choose to sleep with men. And then sometimes I'm going to choose to sleep with women too. It just be. So how can we get so hell bent on what people innately feel like they should gravitate towards? I think that you mentioned the scale, and I'm going to have to look into that because I think it's fascinating.
I made a note.
But I think everyone lives in some sort of level of fluidity, and they allow what they feel is socially acceptable or what people around them tell them is socially acceptable to dictate how they project themselves outward. And that's what we see in that performance. Like, I couldn't imagine like always being attracted to men and then one day just saying, oh, I don't like men anymore.
Yes.
But not unpacking the fact that I had sex-based trauma in my life revolving around men. I had people close to me actively trying to change who I was. And then one day that changed. And that is not at all attributed to any of the trauma that I've experienced, but my religion. I'm sorry, but no.
But listen, he was mentioning some very personal items on this evening, indicating that, he had some sexual trauma that happened in his life. Now, I'm going to tell you, I've also experienced that, and most of us have experienced that kind
of course.
But throughout
But
my teenage years, I've dated women, and I was attracted to women. But I always knew I was attracted to men way before the sexual trauma happened,
right.
if you will. But I think you try to have an outlet to condone the way that you're acting. And he wants to be accepted so bad, and my heart really goes out to him because I wish I was him in this case, because I wouldn't give two flying what no one else thought about what I do. And people condone him for the way he acts. Mm-hmm. My thing is, if he's flamboyant, that's a natural thing. That's nothing he didn't inherit that. He's always been that way.
But it's the active performance of denying who you are.
Yes.
And then bringing someone on to your platform,
right?
Allowing them the space to speak their truth, and then criticizing them for who they innately are and who they
are. Kept saying it. Well, I don't condone what you do, sir. He doesn't care if you condone what he does or not. He doesn't care about that. The man was sitting up there looking at you. He was bored. He didn't care. He was respectful. He was bored. He don't care what your thoughts are. This man has his own following base. He actually came on here, and I'm glad he actually let you join the live, because this is something that needed to surface.
Yeah.
It was
something. Yeah, and just anyone who, I'm going to end the live soon, but just anyone who's wondering, I don't know if Andrew still has it up, but I went live with Andrew Caldwell, and it got wild, and Andrew got really hypey and threatened to have all of my followers arrested and thrown in jail. It got crazy. It got really wild. And I remember just being like, oh my goodness, this is so I don't know what is happening right now. I was just here to say, hey girl, hey. And then as soon as I showed up, he just started talking about me being queer. Like the moment I showed up without prompting, my queerness became the topic of discussion. It wasn't, I didn't even bring it up.
He was like, I didn't say anything. It was
I was trying to get a word in myself. I couldn't even get a word in.
Your lifestyle. It was like, but I didn't even talk about my lifestyle. I just wanted in a respectful dialogue with all of you.
And Pastor Cashmere wasn't helping. All right, y'all, listen,
Cashmere was too busy trying to look good with that cashmere scarf. He had his eyebrows arched. I really thought
watch
that he was family.
Oh my God.
I looked at his profile picture. I'm like, wait, you sure you're not a queen?
Well, he was relatively nice. He was as nice as you can be for a church, as nice as you can be for a church person.
Yeah.
Well, listen. Y'all be well. Thank you for chatting with me. This was a wild ride, and I'm so glad that it happened. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.